might be crazy, but I'm not crazy. I'm glad you feel to take away. I can't believe that's gonna take. With the air, like I don't care, baby, I'm away. Cause I'm happy I'm alone. You feel like a room without a room. Cause I'm happy I'm alone. You feel like happiness is.
So Alexis, how does it feel for you to actually start reviewing a documentary movie? Well, for this one, it would have to fit right here with the this theme right here for this movie, because of how this has to be one of the expected movies that we would get from this, and also being a week late from this, but you can clearly see why. So does this mean that you'll finally review other documentaries? No. Maybe. I don't know, depending if they're interesting enough. Like what? I don't know. So I guess that kind of depends. So yeah, so honestly, that's pretty much what I think. So for this documentary, I see it. Okay. So Mickey, since now you're honestly expecting a Lego movie that was released by Universal for it took 5 years, and now we finally got the first movie, and it's a documentary. What were your thoughts about this? Well, honestly, before we start the review, I honestly think that this has to be like something that a few people have not noticed, and people are not expecting that this would work. But surprisingly enough, it does. But we're gonna review the movie right now. So yeah, honestly, so that's pretty much what's gonna happen. So yeah, this is pretty much our review of the piece by piece documentary. This is usually new for your statement. I think it's time for us to tell you something. What are your thoughts on the story? So honestly, the story is kind of different, to say the least, and mostly just try to, how everything works out less. So, to be honest, that's what I think about the story, is because of how it's mostly more of a Lego documentary about how Berlin started out by listening to music all the way up to the modern day, where basically it talks about all of his records, the songs, and it's reducing his beats, and mostly releasing new ones for this original. They do have the original soundtrack. So what do you honestly think about the pros about this movie? Pros is mostly how unique it is for him to be creative with this documentary and just go all out on it with this story. But and then he cons about this. I don't know. It's mostly because of how this is a rated PG movie that sometimes kind of shows, but for some reason they say the word hell and damn a lot. And mostly the shit they censor, mostly they did censor usually the swearing, but they left one uncensored where Pharrell said the word shit near the end, where he was talking about with Kendrick Lamar is gonna be alright during the Black Lives Matter protest, which yeah, this is when mostly he flat out said the word shit uncensored, and I was like shocked, because one of the kids, the kid behind him had to cover the hair had to cover the kid's ears, but it was so late. It's like, wait, what? Wait, what? It was actually slurred, because mostly usually they say it uncensored, but I think it only done like twice or something. And so yeah, that's pretty much I don't know. It kind of feels like an 80s PG, or a documentary movie usually has no limits of how it's rated, but depending on how people would see, and that's what I think about the story in general. So that's pretty much what you think. Well, since Mickey, I'm pretty sure you're not gonna compare this to the Lego movies, what's your thoughts on the animation? So honestly, when I think about the animation, it's honestly, how do I say this? It's not the same. But for those guys, for Focus Feature Universal do their own, for the first one, it's good. I wouldn't say amazing, but it was good to say it. And mostly probably because of its small budget, because of how it's mostly a documentary. I don't think it really has, but documentaries usually have budgets, but mostly trying to get the royalties to show how get the facts right. But it's mostly, I would say, it's mostly how it all works out in this world. So do you have any pros about this? For the pros, I think about is mostly just how everything works out in the end, and just mostly how everything the animation looks and how it's unique to how it works in this movie. Okay, so are there any cons about this movie? Well, to be honest, I don't really know, but sometimes it's got a little inconsistency with how the frame per second, or like how smooth it is. Sometimes it'll get a little choppy, but I wouldn't say that. It's more like a nitpick to say the least, because I don't know if I would say that would be like the negative aspects of the animation to say the least, but mostly how it all works out in the end. I see here, so you got anything else to say? I don't know, to be honest. I think animation-wise, it's really unique to see, but mostly I didn't understand like how this would work, and mostly how this documentary kind of makes it more unique to say the least, and that's pretty much why I like it, to say the least. So this is now your turn to talk about this. What are your thoughts on the characters? I don't know how to rate the characters for a documentary, but I think we'll give it a chance. So I think we'll do it. Okay, so what are your thoughts on Pharrell Williams? Pharrell himself is kind of more like the narrator and mostly telling his story, and obviously it shows how he was doing throughout his life during his early days of in high school, trying to make beats, starting bands, meeting friends, and then joining the Neptunes, and overall and over time it just becomes like becoming the producers and beats, making these hot beats, and then over time the executives take over him and kind of lose him until like after time trying to come back to get lucky and look where he is now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So okay, so honestly, what about the other house? Honestly, they're there for the story. Obviously, for his friend. What was his name again? I don't know. So I don't know. I think he was like, his friend was trying to like cheer him up, like trying to help them together, stick together, and mostly because of how he is trying to do it with him, and after time it works out in the end. What about everybody else? Talking about him? Honestly, I don't know, because majority of the characters are just there to talk about their side to the story, which how they met him and how they especially make a song with him, and then mostly the yada yada yada. That's pretty much. Like, I mean, we got like Snoop, Gwen, Kendrick, even though he doesn't really show up until the end, and there's Push T, Busta Rhymes, and Timbaland, and everybody else. Like, yeah, that's pretty much what I could think about for this. Him besides, yeah. So that's what I think. So honestly, yeah, so that's pretty much what I think about this character, to say the least. So is that what you think? Is there any characters like you don't like? I don't really know. It's mostly just their side of the story. I don't really know how to hate these real people in their side of the story, just to say the least. I like that one though. You know, they didn't really say a word in this because, you know, they're not even together anymore. Yeah, honestly. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'll think of the characters for this documentary movie. So I think it's now time to conclude this review for you two. Before we end this review, is that overall, what did you think about piece by piece? Well, honestly, it's weird to do a review on a documentary, but I think it worked out well. It kind of did. So overall, piece by piece is good. It's enjoyable to see. So because obviously the story is all about him, and mostly it's live, and the animation is unique for a documentary, and the character-wise, and mostly how Pharrell is doing his life, and mostly everybody else. So yeah. So who do you recommend this to? Well, if you like documentaries, then probably, I don't know how they feel about this, but it's probably a unique one for them to see, and mostly other biopics. If people enjoy biopic movies, they could watch it fine, and otherwise, like, who enjoyed the Lego movies will probably like this, and I don't know about the rest, but what about the kids though? Probably, I tend to depends, because most of the swearing is in this movie. They swear, especially the uncensored PG shit in this movie. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think about for this. And I think that kind of depends if you want to watch it, and depending if there's going to be anybody here. Because box office wise, I don't really think it's going to do well, because when we were there was only like 3 families, and that's it. Most of the majority, there was barely anybody in the theater. Yeah, I can see why, because we were like a week late for this movie. So yeah, so that's pretty much how it works out. So overall, I think that's how it works out. So what's your rating for this? What is it? I would say, I would say at least this 8 for how unique it is. That's pretty much how I think it is. Alright, so, yeah, thank you on board for doing this unique review. Yeah, thank you, that's very nice. So, yeah, so honestly, it's time to us to leave and just continue on with our lives. Alright, so I think it's time to go. Alright, yeah, thank you for, letting us, doing this kind of review, and most of that I'm kind of good with it, so, yeah, so I think it's time for me to go, and just continue on with my life. Alright, so good tear. Alright, thank you. There, you too. Wow, this might be a unique review that we've ever done. Yeah, it was. And to be honest, I don't know if we're gonna do another one like this. Maybe for the series that we want to review, but that kind of depends if we'd ever do that. I see, so honestly, what now? I would suggest that we should, I don't know how to say this. Maybe when we do this review the series that we're supposed to be doing a while back. Yeah, but I kind of forgot about it, so, but I probably need to rewatch it, so. Anyways, I don't really think there's really anything coming out besides Smile, or November is probably going to be the big one. Yeah, I can see that. So, honestly, I think we'll just relax then. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but I guess.